find it embarrassing to be vulnerable? Welcome or welcome back. It's your favorite mental health specialist, Ty Guidance. And yes, that is what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Now, with that being said, because there's no right or wrong way to heal yourself, always and only take what resonates as well as leave the rest. So if it doesn't apply, let it fly. But most importantly, grab your pen, grab your paper, and be prepared to take notes. In this video, we're going to talk about why it's a good thing for you to express yourself and articulate yourself, and how unhealthy it is to not be vulnerable, as well as some recommendations, some reminders, some disclaimers, and what to be aware of when you decide to be you. Starting off with the disclaimers. If you were not taught and shown how to be vulnerable, that's one thing. But just because you were not taught and shown in your past doesn't mean that moving forward, when you come across these videos or when you come in contact with your elevation and that you decide the best, until you decide to be the best version of yourself, that you can continue to have that mindset, that you can continue to have that attitude. Of course, because we're only taught and shown from our parents and our friends and our communities a certain way of living and thinking, automatically, subconsciously, we have a certain perspective of life. But I'm here to let you know and challenge you that there's no right or wrong way to do anything, and there's no one size to do anything. So if you didn't come from a background where you're able to articulate yourself and express yourself, that doesn't mean that moving forward, and that as you become the best version of yourself, and that as you make your own communities and your own family, that you have to continue those ways. And that goes with anything, whether it's tradition, morals, beliefs, and etc. Unless what you were taught and shown was to help you, motivate you, pour into you, and you know it is working in a productive and positive way, take the information. But if you weren't taught how to express yourself and you realize it's causing you to be angry, it's causing you to have resentment, it's causing you to not be honest, and you're not happy with those things, you need to work on them. The second thing you have to realize is that learning to express yourself takes time. There are multiple ways that you can express yourself. You can express yourself through communication, like verbally, articulating yourself, talking to friends, family, loved ones, God, ancestors, universe, take what resonates, leave the rest. You can express yourself through drawing, so physical activity. You can express yourself through journaling. You can express yourself through meditation. So you just have to know, once again, there's so many different ways for you to find outlets. Don't limit your way of expressing yourself, because the moment you limit your expression, the moment you limit yourself. The third thing to be aware of is that when you decide to be vulnerable, anything or anybody who does not have the emotional intelligence or the emotional capacity to allow you to be you without judgment or shame is not someone you need to continue to pour into. And that's going to be a different topic within itself. Just because you tell people what you're going through doesn't mean that they care or that they have the credentials. And what I mean by credentials, I'm not just talking about degrees and certificates, but like I said, the emotional intelligence. You have to realize that a lot of times when you tell your problems or vent to people who have never gone through anything, they don't understand you. They don't relate to you, They can comprehend, so they can understand you to a certain extent because they have, common knowledge, but they can't resonate with you. And a lot of times when people can't relate to you or resonate with you, you feel like, what's the point of me expressing myself? What's the point of me talking to myself? You have to know who to talk to and when to talk to. Everybody doesn't go through the same things, and everybody doesn't handle things the same way. And this doesn't make them bad people, but speaking from experience, what I've realized when it comes to my healing journey is that I cannot expect people who have not gone through certain things to understand me on an emotional level. And instead of getting frustrated and instead of feeling alone and lonely, just realizing that some people are for you and some people are not. And I'm telling you guys from experience, you will stop telling people your business. You will stop expecting people to be there for you. And once again, you won't feel like you're oversharing. If you feel like you're oversharing information by being vulnerable and being honest, those are not the people and the places and things that are for you. The fourth thing also too with that is knowing that however you feel is however you feel. If you can't be honest and speak in the tone with an emotion, and people are not able to understand why, despite your differences, or even if they disagree with you, those are not the people you need to continue to go back and forth with. People are not always going to agree with you. And even if somebody doesn't understand you, if somebody wants to get to know you, if somebody wants to be in a relationship with you, if somebody's going to sympathize and have empathy towards you, they're going to be patient. They're going to be able to have difficult or uncomfortable conversations, because that's going to help sustain your relationship and help you grow. So lastly, knowing that being vulnerable is your birthright. The only people who choose not to be vulnerable but are aware of vulnerability are people who are cold, people who have been blocked off, people who don't want to face themselves or be accountable. There's nothing wrong with showing emotions. There's nothing wrong with having emotions. It doesn't matter if you're Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, a hey, a gay, a they, a she, a he, we, EFG, elemental P, LGBTQ2IA, etc. It's your birthright. You've been crying since you came out the womb. If something makes you feel sad, you're allowed to feel sad. If something makes you feel mad, you're allowed to feel mad. Now, of course, which are going to be the recommendations, we want to come up with solutions, but it's like, until you, like I said, realize that maybe you've had an attitude, maybe you feel depressed, maybe you feel anxious, maybe you feel bipolar, maybe you are moody, maybe you don't know how to communicate or be positive, you have to throw the temper tantrum, you have to go through the emotions, you have to go through withdrawals, and then move forward and come up with the solutions. But it's like, stop trying to deny how you feel. Anybody, once again, who is healed or healing and is a grown adult, is not going to make you feel bad because you feel some type of way. You're not a robot. You are a human. You do have feelings. And so many people try to act nonchalant. They're the most chalant people. They care the most. A lot of closed-hearted people, a lot of people who you think are mean and evil and wicked, their feelings have been so crushed that, yeah, that's a different topic within itself. And that could be you. If your feelings have been so crushed, like I said, you grew up in a certain way of thinking and nobody was able to communicate, seek therapy, go get assistance. Once again, we're going to get into the recommendations because it's a lot to unpack. So starting off with the recommendations, it is a lot to unpack. So you have to be able to go through withdrawals. So once again, if you're learning emotional intelligence, if you're learning to let go of anxiety, if you're learning to let go of ADHD and BPD and letting go of PTSD and OCD, you have to realize it's a process. Some days, yes, may be more common than others. Some days you may feel excited. Some days you may feel bad. Some days you may feel positive. Some days you may feel negative. You have to understand that it is a journey. If you've never been taught and shown and you're watching these videos, if you're seeking therapy, you're going to psychiatrists, you are going to God, ancestors, universe, because we do things naturally, it's going to take time. So it's like, it is okay that you don't always feel okay all the time. But as you choose to watch these videos and you take what resonates and you leave the rest and you get the assistance mentally, emotionally, physically, subconsciously, all you got to do is apply the information. You don't have to rush. The second thing to be aware of is identify why you feel negative. So whenever you're going through something, verbally out loud or in the comment section and on your notes, you need to acknowledge, why do you feel negative? And you need to say it. You need to come up with a solution. So if you're feeling negative right now, you feel envious, why? And let me know in the comment section. Why do you feel this way? Why do you feel this way? Or if you've been feeling this way for a while, that's going to be the third thing, is to identify, when did you start to feel this way? Certain things happen to us in order for us to feel negative. So you may feel negative today because maybe, let's just say, you woke up late and there was traffic. Okay. Eventually, you're going to realize that you can't knock everybody out the traffic. You're going to get there when you get there. You're either going to be late or you're going to be on time, and it comes with consequences. Versus if, let's just say, you've been feeling negative for a long time. I need you to understand, how is that affecting you? And what happened to you to where you start to feel negative? And this is where you become accountable. This is where those childhood wounds start to come up. You see a lot of people try to sweep their palms underneath the rug. You can't do that no more. If you want to heal and become the best version of yourself and do things that you never done before, you got to talk about it. You got to say, you know what, I'm angry because when I was little, I used to start. Or I'm frustrated because I was getting touched on inappropriately. Or I'm mad because I got fired from my job and now I don't have money. You got to be real. You can't be embarrassed or ashamed about being vulnerable. Once again, if you're embarrassed, you're ashamed, you're around the wrong people. You are around the wrong people. And if you have to be around these people, this is your confirmation to create distance. Stop talking to them. Like I said, you got to figure out what you need to do before you can be in relationships or surround yourself with people, places, and things if they're not contributing into you getting help. If people are judging you and they've never gone through the things that you went through, stop telling them your business. If people make fun of you because you cry or you feel angry, you feel frustrated, and they're not able to understand why, they're not able to come with solutions, they're not able to pour into you, you don't need to be around them. Because it's nothing funny here. It's not a weakness. I am more terrified by people who don't cry or who don't want to be vulnerable, like especially as a grown adult. Now, if you're younger than the age of 25, okay, cool, you still have some time, your frontal lobe hasn't developed all the way. But if you're 30, pushing 30 and older, like my age, and you don't know how to communicate, you don't know how to be vulnerable, or you're embarrassed or judged, stay away from me. Because grown adults communicate. Grown adults are real. Grown adults are authentic. Everybody loves it. Oh, I'm authentic, I'm so real. Okay, then let's talk about it. Talk about the time that you were touched on inappropriately by somebody that you knew. How did that make you feel? Because here's the thing. The people and the places and things who cause the trauma to us, rather, or even if we do it to ourselves, is going to continue to live their life. You're the only person who's losing sleep. You're the only person who feels bad. If people took advantage of you, like I said, talk about that. How did that make you feel? And most importantly, the fourth thing, because like I said, it's so much that we could talk about, is holding yourself accountable. If people took advantage of you, there is a part, that you played. I'm not here to condone it. I'm not here to justify it. But like I said, we don't have time to be doing all this extra stuff. Learn the lesson. When you realize why you feel negative, you can now, like I said, come up with solutions. But it's like, if you're not going to be vulnerable, if you're not going to realize how it's making you feel, if you're not going to talk about it, what do you expect to happen? You're the only person who's holding on to this anger and this frustration and this bitterness. Of course, nobody wants to grow up in poverty. People do. Of course, nobody wants to be touched on inappropriately. People do. Of course, nobody wants to be homeless. People are. Of course, nobody wants to be jobless. People are. You don't have to stay there, though. And it's like, you can't make excuses. You've been crying, you've been whining, you asked for a sign, take what resonates, leave the rest. If not, life is going to go by. I'm going to continue to do what I need to do. I'm going to continue to be positive because it's a choice. And that's the last thing. Being negative is a choice, just like being positive is a choice. So if you guys want to talk about how to be positive, let me know. If not, I'm challenging you in your homework assignment, if you're new here, is to understand how negativity affects you. And to take it a step further, when did you start to experience this? You can let me know in the comment section, as well as your notes that you're taking or in the next video. But it's like, you shouldn't be afraid to talk about how you feel, because the negativity is going to eat you alive. This is why people have diseases such as PTSD, ADHD, neurodivergent, anxiety, BPD. They're diseases. It's mental. It's a mindset. It's inside. It's your energy. It's your spirit. You don't have to live like that for the rest of your life, because honestly, all shade, all tea, doctors will prescribe people medicine that's temporary and people are still confused and they don't feel like they're getting anywhere. It's because you're being numbed. You're not being treated. It's not, you're being treated, but it's not being cured. The purpose of medicine, if you're going to take medicine correctly, is to help you, but you have to be doing other things. If not, the medicine is going to come and go. Until you sit still, until you go through those seasons of feeling uncomfortable or discomfort, it's going to be a cycle. So it's like, I really tell you guys to like these videos, comment, engage for you. I don't need this information. A lot of people do need this information. My YouTube page that you're watching right now, I do have other YouTubes. This one specifically, it's not about me. It's not about me at all. So it's just like, when you watch YouTube, of course, there's a time and a place to take life seriously and have fun. But it's like, all I'm asking for you guys that are choosing to support and be here, to engage. Like, it's free. And let me know, because it's just like, if not, you're going to continue to feel weak. You're going to continue to feel frustrated. You're going to continue to feel overwhelmed. And a lot of times, people are not going to care about you because they have their own problems. So if you have people like myself who are willing to be there for you, you have to meet me halfway. If you meet me halfway, let me know if you know where that song is from, or are you too young? But it's like, why can't you be vulnerable? Why can't you be honest? Why are you worried about people judging you? Who are these people? And once again, if somebody's judging you, why would you want to be friends with them? So thank you guys for liking this video all the way to the end. Thank you for giving a big thumbs up. Thank you for letting me know your experience and your homework assignment. Make sure to follow me on all my social media platforms. All the information is down in the description box below. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and on TikTok. I will be going live answering you guys' questions, comments, concerns if I didn't already answer them in the comment section, as well as booking your service in your session if you want like a more intimate vibe, one-on-one, confidential, laid back. If not, DM me on Instagram letting me know how you feel and etc. And let me know what you guys want to talk about. Like I said, the positivity, the vulnerability, talking about things that seem to be uncomfortable. Like what's the vibes, okay? But yeah, stay tuned. And if you haven't watched already, this may be up tomorrow or whenever you see this afterwards. Basically a sneak peek for the month of October, what we're going to be talking about. I'm making this in September, by the way. Let me know when you watch this, okay? Love you, bye.